There's over 70 End-of-Life Doula programs and tens of thousands of trained doulas, and families are still lost. And doulas, they're still not feeling confident. But when someone you love is dying, not only do most families not have one, but they've never even heard of a professional end-of-life doula. And here's a deeper truth. Most doulas don't feel ready for the job either. Despite tens of thousands trained, many are still wondering, well, what now? I loved my doula training, but how do I even begin? How do I make this real? So this video is for those of you who know this work is your calling, but you're stuck in that painful middle ground. You're trained, but you're not equipped or supported. So let's talk about why that is and what you can actually do to bridge the gap. Why do so many doulas feel lost? We'll come back to that. You've always been the go-to person, the one people trust. Maybe this calling found you through your own loss. That happens frequently. A student I worked with, we'll call her Sarah, told me everyone came to me when my mom was dying. I just knew what to say. But after the funeral, I had no idea what to do with that gift. Save that thought. We'll come back to what happened when she finally stepped into her calling. So you've got the compassion, the intuition, and you know you're good at advocating for your friends and family. But maybe when it comes to strangers, you're not so sure. Maybe you don't feel official yet. Maybe you still feel like you're on the outside looking in. And until you're out there actually doing the work, it all just lives in your head. We dream about serving. We imagine what it'll be like. And we tell ourselves stories, though. Stories that can keep us in our living rooms and not at the bedside. These are the real regrets that we hear from caregivers. We never talked about what he wanted. We didn't know when it was time. I didn't realize I could ask for hospice soon. I wish someone was there with me who knew that silence wasn't peace, it was fear. No one told us her visions weren't hallucinations. They were sacred. They wished they had clear conversations, guidance through that family tension, support during the long hours of uncertainty. And you can ask anyone, when they hear of an end-of-life doula, they say all the time, if we'd had a doula, things would have been different. And guess what? My end-of-life doula students say the same thing. If they only knew then what they know now, things would have been so different for their person in the past. So what's the disconnect? I want you to stay with me because we're going to break it down. The doulas that have been trained before, when they come into my program, they'll say, I trained, but I'm not confident. I'm afraid to say or do the wrong thing. I want to help, but I don't know how to even start. I've never even had my own business. In my intake questionnaire of my students, mostly this is what they report, that they haven't learned the ropes of how to develop a practice, how to become known in your community or find clients, how to help families navigate real grief that's cloaked in so many disguises along the dying path, how to keep going when it's hard. Well, the result is beautiful souls are trained, they're inspired, but they feel lost. So this is what I've learned from training doulas for 15 years and why I guide my students weekly for 6 months while they're learning and while they're building their service. Because one-off certifications without deep mentorship leave too many doulas feeling stuck. Here are real issues that require real-time, in-the-moment mentorship that a 2 or 3 month training just doesn't touch. How to actually talk to a family about dying while it's happening. What to do when the medical team dismisses the dying person's wishes. How to navigate too many voices in the family. How to trust your gut when the plan suddenly changes. How to recover emotionally after a powerful bedside moment. So remember Sarah? She stepped into the weekly mentoring, and within 3 months, she had her first family. She reached out to me in tears, not because she was overwhelmed, but because she finally felt ready. She said, I didn't need another certificate. I needed someone to show me how. This is what too many doulas are missing. Not passion, not training, but real world integration. If this work keeps tapping you on the shoulder, it's because you already are that one that people turn to. You just need confidence, and you just need to be able to say, I'm ready. The world doesn't need more certificates. It needs capable, visible, grounded doulas. We're not even required to have a certificate to work, but you better know what you're doing. You cannot wing this. And I personally think this is one of the secret reasons keeping doulas from helping more people professionally, like they tell me they want to do. They feel ashamed they are not ready. It's so sad to me. Please don't feel like you should know how to accompany families with confidence after taking a 3-month course. No way. That's like those shaman in a weekend certificate programs. This is a long game. To accompany a family with confidence requires steady, ongoing, working things out kind of thing. Thinking through myths, problem solving, listening to other people and their families and their situations and cases. As a hospice worker, it takes months, really a couple of years to feel really confident about what you're doing. And that's if you have excellent mentors ahead of you, leading by example. Same thing with doulas. Just because you're good at accompanying and having comfort with dying and death doesn't mean you should automatically feel confident to serve professionally. There are many hoops to jump through to go from knowing you'll be great at this to actually doing it. If this video resonates, if you know in your heart that this is your path, I want to invite you to join our waitlist for my End-of-Life Doula certificate and mentorship program. I must pace enrollment because I work so closely with every student, week by week, side by side. Because no family should face this time alone, and no doula should have to figure this out alone either. Let's get you out of your living room and with people who need you. You know what you wish you would have had, and you know you can make sure they have it now. And I've got you.